Hey, welcome back. I'm Ferrickster, here to bring you some more Pokemon Go Battle League battles. These battles are played at Legend rank at around 32-ish hundred MMR. So, despite all of the mistakes that me and my opponents make, apparently we're the best the world has to offer. But yeah, I know I made a video yesterday, but I played these two sets and I just thought that they were really great games. I wanted to share them with you. Thought maybe you and I could watch them together. Wouldn't that be nice? So let's hop in. My first opponent is EDCB. Still opening ShadowZard, and my opponent is opening Bastiodon, which is still a terrible, horrific lead for me. So I fast swap into Pelipper, and despite this lead being really, really bad, this game actually wasn't totally unwinnable. I just botched it and don't win because of that. So this one's not on the team. This one is all me. I throw my first two Weather Balls, and then I elect to not shield and let Pelipper go down. Unfortunately, now, even though I'm responsibly waiting out my switch clock because I've switched and my opponent hasn't, before sending out Vigoroth, they still have plenty of time to send in a one of their counter users and just start absolutely pummeling Vigoroth. I can't get out in time. And now when I finally do get Charizard out, my Vigoroth has had to throw energy, has no energy left, and also has taken about like 50% damage, so it's really just too much. I've also done too much damage to Toxicroak, so I'm not even really able to farm up a lot on him. So I bait with Dragon Claw here, and I'm hoping that'll get me enough leeway to get to a Blast Burn, and I am not even going to make it, so I'm forced to throw my second Dragon Claw. If my opponent were to shield, then maybe this battle could have gone differently, but realistically, at this point, the game is all but over. Shadow Machamp in the back, and I escape with my Vigoroth's life, because that was just the responsible thing to do at that point. Next matchup against Flower Slayer. I'm not a flower, so I hope to be okay. ShadowZard into Alola-Tails. He fast swaps to Politoed, and I switch out to Pelipper. 9 Mud Shots to the Blizzard, and he's at it, but I am tired of getting baited, so I no-shield it, and it's the Blizzard, because, you know, that's what happens. And here I build up to Hurricane and elect to throw it, and they shield it. So I can already see that this switch is not going amazing. Here I'm going to shield up the Weather Ball Water just so that I can get my own out and get this Politoed down into a health range that Vigoroth could counter down. But they surprised me by shielding the Weather Ball Water, and it was a CMP tie, so they're throwing theirs, so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to take this tiny piece of a win where I can at least beat up a shield. So now I'm going to send in Vigoroth to counter down. And they reach their Weather Ball Water, but I can see they're not going to reach another one. So I actually shield this because since I saw a Charmer already, I'm thinking the shields might not be very helpful, and I might actually be better off just retaining some extra health. So sure enough, Alola-Tails comes back out, but I have Body Slams ready, so I'm going to throw one of those here and throw one counter. They sneak in an extra Powder Snow for the second time, so they're at 4. That's way ahead of where I'd want them. And I switch to Charizard, and they switch out to Rainy Cast form. So this is bad, but ShadowZard has so much firepower that this Blast Burn actually can take it down to low enough health that gets it into Dragon Claw range. And right before I get Water Gun down, I throw this Dragon Claw and take out this Cast form, which is crazy to see. And then one Fire Spin away to take out the Ninetales, which definitely had energy, so that was a really, really close game. Next up, against Surjams, I remember this game. Charizard into Drifblim. I really like Drifblim. I use it mostly in Ultra League, but it's awesome to see someone using it down here in Great. So he throws after 4, so it is for sure an Icy Wind. Not going to shield that, even though it does tons of damage, and there's definitely a case to be made for why it should be shielded anyway. And here I'm baiting with Dragon Claw. So I get that first shield, and now, since they're throwing, but I got in my extra Fire Spin, I know I'm going to be able to throw Blast Burn, so I'm going to shield here and trade out with them to see if they want to give up their last shield to maintain switch advantage, or just give that up and get me in. So here, oh my gosh, here I get a phone call right when this Deoxys is coming in. And if you don't know what happens when you are screen recording on an iPhone with the iPhone's native screen recording app, what would you expect would happen when you get a phone call? Because clearly you're screen recording, so you're obviously doing something and are busy. So, I would expect, if I didn't know any better, that, a notification banner would come down, like when you get a text to tell you, hey, you've got a phone call, and I could just ignore it. But that is not what happens. What actually happens is a pop-up shows up in the middle of your screen to tell you your screen recording has been stopped because you've got a phone call. Like, I just need to answer the phone that desperately. Apple, I don't need to answer the phone that much. So I have to click to close that and also swipe up on the phone banner that came down that is triple the size of a normal banner, but you won't get to see it because the iPhone conveniently just automatically stops recording. It is so invasive. Like, you'd think with all of the programming expertise and everyone making their gigantic salaries that they would have been able to have a more sensible approach to it. But you couldn't have a more invasive way of delivering a phone call notification if you tried. I mean, I guess a garden gnome could climb out of the glass and start stabbing me in the eyes with tiny knives. That would, I guess, be more invasive. But only by a little. It's just so... Oh my god, why? So, this battle ends right there. because I got a phone call. Thankfully, that phone call made it through, though, because they were just letting me know, it was my second notice, actually, that the extended warranty on my vehicle had run out. Oh my gosh. What am I going to do now? Without that warranty, I'm going to have to pay for my own, $200 repairs on my 15-year-old motorcycle that I bought on Craigslist 5 years ago for $2,000. Oh my gosh, it's too much. I don't know. I just got to move on with my life. Yeah. So this next guy, right? Apple. Oh god. This next guy opens Diggersby. Charizard into Diggersby is fine. I resist these mud shots, they don't do anything, and they are very unlikely to bait because Fire Punch does such pitiful damage, so if I don't shield, it'll hurt so bad. And they're expecting me to not shield anyway because Earthquake is resisted also. So I throw this Blast Burn. I actually will outpace. If we're going straight Earthquake Blast Burn, Charizard outpaces, so it's the safe thing to do, so I go with that. And an Alola-Tails comes out, which is not an effective response, so I throw a Blast Burn at that, knowing that they are going to need me to bait, and I don't get to find out what their third Pokemon is because they leave. So that's great. Definitely makes up for being stabbed in the eyes with Garden Gnome. Next battle opens Deoxys. I'm definitely seeing a lot of Deoxy lately. They seem really, really popular. I don't know which YouTuber popularized it or if everyone has just had some kind of awakening, because Deoxys is a great Pokemon. It has really great moves, even though Rock Slide's been nerfed. It helps me out a lot. Mostly because they are not running Rock Slide anymore. It would still absolutely one-shot. I go straight Blast Burn because every time I bait, they don't shield. And every time I throw the Blast Burn, they do shield, and it's just preferable. And here I make a weird decision, which I make frequently, which is switching in Vigoroth against Deoxys to Sponge Up Energy. Counter is what really does the damage. The charge moves really can kind of get soaked up, whereas Pelipper absolutely can't soak up rocks nor lightning, and Charizard, same thing. So I shielded this Hydro Cannon because since I was going to be switch locked against something and the best they could do was Shadow Swampert, I figured, I might as well stay in for the next thing. Worst case scenario, Deoxys will come back out and unload the rest of its energy on me, because it definitely still has plenty. I spam out this Body Slam as fast as I can, which means this Deoxys will go down with all of the energy that it had. I totally lost count. And there's an Abomasnow in the back, so I switch to Charizard right away to get in a bunch of little bits of damage, and it'll also force them to throw their move as soon as they have it. Which is enough for me now. Now I can bring in Pelipper and just wing attack all the way down. If they get to a move, that's fine. I can survive one hit of whatever Abomasnow's got. So I survive there and wing attack down. And yeah, so including that game that I absolutely lost because when I got done with the notifications for my phone call, I found my ShadowZard on the floor, already dead. I had to speed up this video to 3 times because apparently I don't know how to catch a chespin. But yeah, managed to round out that set with 3 out of 5 and rising up to 3168. Next set up against Cane Cross. Charizard into Shadow Swampert. Shadows, and I've got the wrong one, so I fast swap into Vigoroth and I try to throw out this Body Slam as soon as I've got it, because I want it to land just to kind of guarantee that I'll be able to get a shield. So I throw this one right here, and they actually no-shield it, which is really surprising to me. I don't know exactly how much damage it ended up doing, but it must have been quite a bit, so it was very brave for them to no-shield, and they send in Skarmory. So it's definitely a good thing that I threw the Body Slam as soon as I had it, because against Skarmory, I'm really doing the majority of my damage with just counter, and these Body Slams are kind of just stalling for time and getting in little chips. So I could shield and kind of win in the one shield here, but I decide to just no shield, and I get to this Body Slam in time. I was hoping that this was actually a CMP tie that they would have thrown, but they did not. So they're at 6 here. So because they didn't get to a 7th, this can't be a Brave Bird, must be a Sky Attack, and I actually no-shield it and Fire Spin down. I am tapping really close to the Pelipper button because I was kind of expecting a Azumarill, and it's actually maybe worse because Hypno can spam out Thunder Punches really fast, and I'm pretty sure they one-shot either of my Pokemon at the healths that they're at. So this Thunder Punch comes out as soon as it possibly can. Hypnos always have it because it's just a great coverage move, and I try to fast move deny there, but they actually squeeze in an extra confusion. So when the energy from that registers, they'll be at 3, but instead of under tapping, they over tap, so they don't throw that Thunder Punch as fast as they can, and now they just can't even really throw that because Charizard would come out and farm down. So it looks like they kind of panic swapped out to Swampert, and then Hypno came back out and just gets Wing Attack down with plenty of energy. I had to go back and watch that right after it happened just to kind of get a sense of what happened there. But I can only conclude that it just became a little bit too chaotic. So Charizard into Medicham. This is an okay lead for me, and they switch out right away to Stunfisk. And I really should have identified that as indicating, hey, you know, that was a kind of winning matchup, but it was like fairly neutral. But they're giving up switch advantage, must be an ABB team. So it should make sense that the other thing that's going to be in here is also going to be a steal, and it's probably going to be Bastiodon because that's what's popular now. So definitely not playing this matchup out as well as I can. It looks like my opponent had a little bit of lag, which is, I guess I'll take it. That's fine, because I'm probably going to be experiencing a Basti in the back, and I really need every little bit that I can get to take that out. Definitely making a mistake here. My switch clock is up. I should just switch out to Pelipper right away, because Pelipper will at least be able to do some amounts of damage to the Bastiodon, and my Charizard can take out Medicham okay in even shields. Thankfully, even though I go down, my Pelipper does get out like a Wing Attack and a half before my opponent switches to Bastiodon. So I am at least guaranteed to be able to get out all 3, assuming that, you know, I shield and then they'll shield, which maybe will enable my Charizard to be able to get to a Blast Burn. Because I think I already had like 3 Fire Spins, so I really just need 2 more to get there, and that'll be able to take it out. All I need to do is clear out this last shield, and then Charizard will be able to at least get something done. But my opponent actually no-shields that, which was really surprising. And then, so I fast swapped to Charizard as quickly as I could because I want to get off this Dragon Claw and get in some Fire Spins of damage. This is going to pressure them to throw their heavier hitting move, Psychic. And now I'll be able to probably Wing Attack down, hopefully right before they get to the Ice Punch. And I think they were at 5 counters, so that was 1 counter away. So that was really close. Survived Bastiodon in the back. Definitely misplayed that. It could have been done better. I should not have left Vigoroth in to get countered down. That was a mistake. Next matchup, I actually win the lead, which is definitely nice. Also win switch. Swampert doesn't get walled by Pelipper, but if you switch into Pelipper kind of quickly, then you'll be able to get out your second Weather Ball before they're able to get out a Hydro Cannon and a Sledge Wave. So I only get 1 extra Wing Attack in before it's time. If I'd thrown another one, I would have maybe invited a CMP tie or created a situation where they can, win this back or get a shield. Abomasnow comes out and actually throws their energy right away, which I'm totally fine with. Now Charizard can come back out. They absorb a Fire Spin, which definitely think is a mistake. They really should have just insta-swapped. And it's Deoxys in the back. Charizard already has tons and tons of energy, and I still have over half health, so I could actually pretty much go straight Blast Burn or straight Dragon Claw. At this point, it doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, I have 2 shields. I shield this one, and I could easily just stay in, Fire Spin up to a Blast Burn, and throw that. But for some reason, I elect to switch after I get a Dragon Claw and swap to Vigoroth, which doesn't really make a ton of sense. Now you're going to see exactly how not great Vigoroth is against Deoxys. I keep switching it in against Deoxys to soak up damage, and it's just not really... It's really not a great response. So he switched to the Abomasnow, and I wasn't even sure at the time if it was there to catch a move or if he was trying to switch to build up energy to throw something. So I just threw right away. In retrospect, it was there to catch the move. So definitely gave that to them, but I've still got a shield left, and Charizard had this Dragon Claw, so I'm still able to close out this game. But I don't know why I made that harder for myself. That was totally unnecessary. Could have just stayed in with Charizard. Would have been just fine. Next opponent, Savage Mantis. Deoxys again, but this time in the front. So if it's only got Thunderbolt and Psycho Boost, I'll outpace it if it goes straight Thunderbolt, so it will at some point have to throw the Psycho Boost and get out. This one decides to throw it first and leaves right away, and it's a Dewgong kind, which is pretty cool. Haven't seen one of those in a while. So I'm going to throw this Blast Burn. It hits for neutral. Could have probably thrown the... Oh my gosh, forgetting the names of my things. Could have thrown the Dragon move, and they probably would have shielded anyway, because Dugongs tend to shield up the first move pretty much no matter what. Pairing it up with my Vigoroth is fine, though. I'm not going to shield any of these moves. I don't even really mind if Dewgong takes me out, and I'm able to come in with something else and get like a few wing attacks of damage, but we simultaneous KO. And now I'm just waiting out the switch clock, and I'm going to send in Pelipper because I want to get a jump-started energy in case they switch to something else right away. Pelipper with a few wing attacks of energy gets a lot of utility. So I correctly shield up Thunderbolt, which is good for me. He's about at a Psycho Boost, so I'm going to throw my Weather Ball Water. And he's continuing to counter up, so I'm going to throw the other one. This will either get the last shield, and I'll find out what's in the back, or... Okay. And I switch to Charizard to maybe absorb a move, and it's Stunfisk in the back, which... Amazing, because I just... melt it, and Deoxys comes back out and gets Fire Spun down. So that just... Oh, Blast Burn is so strong. So this next match against the Asian Milkman. Fun fact, not lactose intolerant. His Mew runs Surf and Wild Charge, I guess the standard Mew set currently. So I think that Surf came out as soon as it could. I throw here after 2 because that means that I'll be able to throw 2 Fire Spins and it'll line up with 3 Dragon Claws, and I can Shadow Claws, and I can switch out and catch the move. And he didn't throw it. He absolutely had it, but then he overcharged, got 1 more Shadow Claw, so this is definitely a Wild Charge, so I have to shield that. And now I'm like 0 shield, and I'm switch locked in a bad matchup. So yeah, very very risky play trying to catch that, but I really thought I was gonna. I could not believe that I did not catch that move. But it's all right. So that was the 7th, and so that means that he's at a Brave Bird. If this is Brave Bird, fine. He shielded my Weather Ball, so I got 1 shield back, and now I faint. And it's freaking Azumarill in the back. So, I mean, Pelipper was basically my solution to Azumarill, so now we're going to see Vigoroth trying to take out Azumarill when Azu's up a shield. So this is definitely not a winning matchup for Vigoroth. Azu even got like 1 bubble of energy on me, but I am aware that in the back, oh my god, Hydro Pump, I'm aware that in the back I've got Charizard with a Blast Bird, so if I can just land 2 more Body Slams, I can get Azu down into Blast Burn range and, you know, at least be able to take him out. And Skarmory is totally energy drained because it threw the Brave Bird at 7, so it was as soon as it could have had it. And I land that extra, so I bring Charizard in, I burn down Azu, and now I just have to survive enough Air Slashes to get up to a Blast Burn. 3, 4, 5, and I CMP tie. And throw the heavy-hitting move. Didn't have a choice in the matter, actually. It's not like I could have cut it 1 Fire Spin earlier and thrown the Dragon Claw. It wouldn't be enough. Dragon Claw only does as much as 1.5 Fire Spins, when Dragon Claw's resistant in Fire Spin is super effective. So, rounded out that 5-0 set. Really exciting games, I felt. And yeah, puts me up at 32-31. So, hope those games were fun for you. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed my minor rant. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do the things that you're supposed to do. You know you're supposed to do them. Follow me on Twitter. Blah, 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 blah. I'll see you in the next one.